What if I told you there's a switch in your brain that basically controls your confidence, your drive, even how you see the world? And what if I told you that you have the power to flip that switch? Today, we're diving deep into this invisible feedback loop between your mind and your hormones. It's a connection that can either launch you into the stratosphere or pull you down into a spiral. Let's get into it.
So picture this, northern Nigeria. There's a ritual called Shero. Young men, they step into a ring, they expose their ribs, and they get brutally whipped in front of their entire community. If you flinch, if you show any sign of pain at all, you bring shame on your whole family. It is about as raw and ancient a test of manhood as you can possibly imagine.
Now, fast forward to today. Our test of manhood, well, it looks a little different, doesn't it? It's a trip to a clinic, a little prick for a blood draw, and then you get a number on a lab report. The contrast is just stark. But the question underneath it all, it's exactly the same. What is this hormone, testosterone, actually for?
Back in that Nigerian ring, testosterone is way more than just muscle. It's like psychological armor. It's what you need to survive. And here's the fascinating part. Its primary job isn't even physical. It's to make effort feel good. It's the biological gas in the tank that fuels our drive for status, our willingness to take a chance, and our ability to stare down anxiety.
And that right there, that brings us to the absolute heart of this whole thing, the winner effect. See, your brain has this incredible power to boost your testosterone whenever it wants, but it usually keeps it on a leash if it thinks you're losing. But when it believes you're winning, oh, that is when everything changes.
Let me tell you a quick story. 13 years ago, I'm in an office in Tokyo, and this guy in a suit looks at me and says, "You've got the job." I swear, I walked out of that building feeling like I was in one of those old 90s Mentos commercials, just completely invincible. Later that day, I'm at a train station, and this woman catches my eye.
Now you have to understand, normally I had zero game. I would have just assumed she was looking at a poster behind my head or something, but not that day, no way. Fueled by that win from the job offer, I walked right up, said hi, and I got her number. So how on earth did a job offer give me more courage than a beer ever could?
Well, that is the winner effect in action. Study after study shows that winning a competition, doesn't matter if it's sports, chess, or a job offer, it makes your testosterone levels just skyrocket. Researchers at Cambridge even rigged a rowing contest. They just randomly told one of the rowers he'd won, and the result? He got that same hormonal boost. It proves it's all about the perception of victory.
But here's the thing about a feedback loop. It has a dark side. If winning sparks this amazing upward spiral, well, losing can ignite a pretty devastating downward one. And the stakes here, they couldn't be higher.
Last summer, I did a little experiment on myself to see what happens when you send your body the ultimate losing signal. For 5 straight days, I ate nothing, zero food. Then, still fasted, I ran a marathon. And I have to say, this was just a personal experiment, and it is definitely not recommended. So please, consult a healthcare professional before you try any kind of extreme physical challenge.
So I tested my levels before and after, and the results were staggering. My testosterone just plummeted. We're talking a 90% drop, from a really healthy 840 all the way down to a measly 82. It wasn't just a dip, it was a complete and total physiological crash. And the psychological fallout? It was immediate and it was intense. I was irritable, I was anxious, I was paranoid. In conversations, my brain would just twist these harmless comments into what I thought were personal attacks. I was convinced everyone was out to get me. In my little N of 1 experiment, it lines up perfectly with the bigger research. A study on rugby players found their testosterone dropped by 40% after a major loss. It's like our brains are keeping this mental leaderboard. Every win moves you up the ranks and your biology rewards you for it. But every loss moves you down and you feel the consequences, both in your body and in your mind.
Okay, so we've established that winning raises testosterone and losing absolutely tanks it. But now we get to the most fascinating part of all of this, the key that really unlocks this whole system, the incredible mind-bending power of your own perception. And this right here is the crucial question. I mean, that rowing study showed that actual performance wasn't the trigger. So does objective reality even matter, or is it really all in our heads?
We'll consider this study on placebo sleep. Researchers hooked people up to this fake machine and told them they'd had really high-quality sleep. And the result? The people who believed they had slept well performed way better on cognitive tests, and it had nothing to do with how well they'd actually slept. Their brain's belief literally dictated their performance.
And this translates directly to our hormones.
A professor named James McBride Dabbs, he tracked his own testosterone while he was writing a book. And he found it was 30% higher on days he felt optimistic and good about his work versus the days he felt dejected. His mindset was literally changing his body's chemistry in real time.
So here's the bottom line. Your brain is always keeping score. A meaningless job, a relationship full of conflict, your brain registers these things as losses, and it holds back on the hormonal good stuff. So what's the solution? You have to start consciously, deliberately building wins.
We call this the testosterone momentum effect. It's a positive feedback loop, and it's so powerful. Winning boosts your hormones, which in turn boosts your confidence and your drive, which then makes you more likely to, you guessed it, win again. It feeds on itself.
So how do you get this thing started? You start manufacturing wins, big and small. Start with the absolute fundamentals. Optimize your sleep, that is non-negotiable. Lift heavy weights. Build up your social bonds, strong connections. And maybe most importantly, set real, tangible goals and actually work towards them. Every single step forward is a win that your brain will register and reward.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Just take an honest look at your life, your habits, your job, your environment. Is your brain getting the signal that you're winning, fueling that upward spiral of momentum, or is it stuck in a cycle of perceived losses, just holding you back? The choice and the power to actually change your own chemistry is way more in your hands than you might realize.